You are right on time for a Kickstarter conversation. It is 7:41 a.m. So let's do this. Now, we are having a conversation that you cannot miss out on. Yes, for you, the young people who are in the innovation space, creative, and you've thought of one innovation or another to find a solution to something, maybe a problem that is in the space, in the market space, in the business space. This is the conversation for you. Now, government, through the Ministry of ICT, has been pushing for and promoting innovations in the various sectors, and this call has been headed by many. However, some good innovations have died out almost as soon as they were born. This is why a group of people has now come up to fill this void, and this morning we ask why and how they are doing it. So I'm joined by Ms. Deborah Natujuna. She is from the Resilient Africa Network at the Makerere School, University School of Public Health. She has all the answers for you, and you get to know this and learn this morning, how you can link up to the market, from your innovation, that gap to the market. All right, thank you so much for making time, and welcome to Morning at 10 TV.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. Good morning, viewers. Once again, my name is Deborah, and we note that most of the ICT innovative solutions have been private sector led in the past. When you look at solutions like Safe Border, which has revolutionized the transport sector, look at WhatsApp Doctor that is in the health sector, all those have been private sector led, initiated by the private sector. But government saw an opportunity there and conceptualized the National ICT Initiative Support Program, which is now known as the NISP program. And through that program, they have been supporting innovators and innovation hubs with resources to help innovators experiment, prototype, and validate their solution. So at the beginning of this year, RAN was a beneficiary of the NISP program, and we received a cohort of 15 innovation teams from the Ministry of ICT, fully supported with resources from the ministry, and we took them through a 3-month incubation program. And I must say that the program has registered great successes, because some of the light bulb moments that we could see from the projects is when we took them to the community, to validate their ideas and interact with end users and know that their projects are needed at the grassroots.
Right. And Deborah, you've talked of you just taking up this innovators from the ministry and pretty much taking them through the incubation process, but it's 3 months. The 3 months have elapsed?
The 3 months have elapsed, and today we have an event where we'll be showcasing some of the fruits of the program and some of the projects that have gone through the 3 months program.
All right, so moving on, is this the last time you are having an impact on innovators, or is it something that you're going to continue with, so to speak?
Thank you for that question. Maybe I can take us back to the Resilient Africa Network as a program. It's right now we have completed 6 years doing this innovation support. We do research and innovation, and so we've been sending out grant calls and supporting different cohorts of innovators. So far, our portfolio has grown to 320 innovations from 20 universities in sub-Saharan Africa, and some of those projects we've handed them to pilot and to experiment. Others received some other kind of support, like capacity building, connecting them to funding partners, investors, and so on. So we continue with our mainstream work. We have mentorship programs that run throughout the year. We have a lab space where innovators come in and work from there, even if they don't have offices, because sometimes they're still at the early stage, so they are welcome to come in. If I take an example of this program, the innovators that have completed 3 months, they'll still have access to our office space. They'll still have access to the mentorship program. We have enrolled them into our database, and they'll continue to receive opportunities in the ecosystem.
So Deborah, so Deborah, you have created this amazing platform for these people to come through and, just make sure that they polish up their thinking, the creatives, the creations, and also the innovations. So just take us through that process. Now that this cohort is done and you're having an event today, someone who is watching us today, they're wondering, okay, so what's the procedure? Am I the one who is supposed to Am I the one who is supposed to reach out, or you're going to reach out somehow at some point in time to them? And also, is it free of charge? And what are the requirements, so to speak? So when people approach you, what's the rationale or criteria of selecting these people? Because I'm sure you can't take up everyone in one cohort.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. So for the NIS program, the ministry entirely runs the request for applications, and so they always have a call that goes out for about 1 month or 2 months.
Through which platforms is it?
The NIS program, the National ICT Initiatives Program. It's the ministry that sends out the call for applications.
Through their website?
Through their website, social media, through hubs. All innovation hubs get this announcement, and we send it out to all our innovators in the ecosystem. But also RUN as a lab has its own opportunities, like how to join the RUN Innovation Lab programs. So maybe I can mention that we have a call in the offing where we'll be reaching out to projects that are already at scale, like they have completed the pilot level and they want to scale out. We have an opportunity that will be coming out in the next 2 weeks. People can reach out and look out for this call. But also this program is on a rolling basis. They keep sending out announcements and people can apply. For example, we are going to onboard another cohort of projects still under the Ministry of ICT, and they are funded by the Ministry of ICT. They will also go through maybe another program of either 4 months, 6 months. These programs are tailored depending on the needs of the projects. And by the way, we are not the only beneficiary hub. The ministry partnered with other labs like at Mbarara University, at Makerere University College of Computing, Outbox, Hive. All those hubs receive different cohorts. So for us, our cohort is graduating today, and we have organized an ICT Innovation Katale at Hotel Africana, where I'll be showcasing some of the projects under this program, but also the RUN incubated projects that I've been talking about, those who have walked with us the journey for longer than 3 months.
All right. So looking at the NIS program, and you said that they always advertise so that people can actually, put in their applications. Yes. So what rationale do they use to select someone who's thinking, okay, I've not even actualized anything, but I have a brilliant idea. So what do they look out for so that them that are applying know that these are the do's and don'ts for me to stand a chance to be assimilated?
Yeah, by the way, amazingly, some of these projects came in as just ideas. Someone hasn't even built a prototype, they have not validated it, they came in as just mere ideas. So the criteria is, does my idea have potential to change communities? If I'm talking about sanitation, is it an idea that has potential? You can look at things like viability, feasibility, and also see like the team composition. Is the team passionate enough? So there's always a panel of judges that evaluates and reviews all the applications that are submitted, and some of them get an opportunity to pitch. So the ministry has its own panel, and for this particular group of innovators, they just selected and handed over the teams to us, and we found that the teams were at different stages. Some were mere ideas, never been tried out, but they have been able to try out, go through the stages and eventually come up with a prototype. It's so interesting, so amazing. And right now, even those who came with just ideas are believing in their ideas, because we took them to the community, they interfaced with end users, and they appreciated that their projects are really needed, critically needed at the grassroots.
So, Deborah, is this free of charge? Especially, I'm thinking, someone who's starting from scratch with just a mere idea, zero prototype. So is this process, are you just, planting the seeds onto these people free of charge? Because that is the caveat. People, whenever there's a cost, they just shy away and say, hey, I can't afford that. But is there a cost to it for someone to actually join these programs?
Yes, so the innovators didn't pay anything.
All right.
They just joined the program under the Ministry of ICT. Ministry of ICT injected the resources to help them go through the 3 months program. But also along the way, the students have to put in, we call it bootstrapping, like put in their minimal resources to try out. If I'm working like on a drone, like one of the projects is going to be a land mapping drone, and I want to program it and try and see, is it going to do the kind of mapping I want? So some students have been using their little pocket money here and there and trying to experiment. Some of them are apps, they have developed them, they have contacted their teams maybe at the universities and so on, and when it reaches uploading on the Play Store, someone needs some subscription fees, they put in the fees. So it's not entirely free. You have to show commitment on your side as an entrepreneur that you're going to put in the minimal resources, and maybe a funder will find you along the way.
Along the way.
Yeah.
So do you link them up to these funders who will help them actually, you know, move their amazing idea to maybe a prototype, to a final product? And I think many funders leave it at that, but also let's first, you know, tackle that before we get into, you know, linking them to the markets. So at what point do the funders come through, and what's the rate that you've seen that funders actually are willing to take up some of these innovators?
Good, that's a fantastic question. So one of the motives for us to organize an event like this one, which we are going to host at Hotel Africana, is to showcase to potential funders, investors who could help them to pilot, or even private sector, because some of the projects are fintech solutions, others are in health, education. So someone maybe from Ministry of Education can take on a project and pilot it. So the culture here in Africa is that we find these early stage ideas highly risky. So a bank is not ready to take on an innovation to try out something on financial management, because they think, oh, this is highly risky. I'd rather invest in a project that has already matured. But it's a growing ecosystem. We're beginning to witness investors coming to support early stage. We are beginning to witness angel investors. So some of the attendees or participants we have invited are from the investment community. We hope that they'll be wowed by these projects that we are going to showcase. We already have some cash prizes that we'll be giving out, and maybe some of the teams can use the cash prize, you know, to continue the development of their projects.
Right.
And we also think other partners like government itself can consume some of these solutions. In fact, even their mandate at the beginning was, let's consume our locally grown solutions.
Right.
So the theme of the event is harnessing ICT solutions for development, locally grown solutions. So we want to now entice government, private sector to start consuming and investing in these early stage ideas, especially the ones that are showing potential.
All right.
Yeah.
So Deborah, pretty much it's just holding this innovator's hand, taking them through for them to actualize their idea into something that is a finished product. But when it comes to now the ultimate funding and also linkage to the markets, like you're saying, it has to be a 50-50, you know, effort. They need to put in their effort as much as you're putting in your effort to ensure that, you know, they mature, the innovations mature. But let's look into something that is quite critical, and this is patenting.
Wow.
You know, patenting, I don't know why as Africans we've never taken this seriously, especially now that you mentioned that, you know what, actually today you're going to showcase some of these innovations. But we're not supposed to, you know, move away from the idea that, or from the thinking that someone might actually come through, borrow this idea without going through the legal process and make it better and actually make money out of it. So when it comes to you holding the innovator's hands, where does patenting come through? Do you support them in that as well?
Yes, so during the 3 months we had some sessions which were led by URSB, Uganda Registration Services Bureau. They came in and sensitized the innovators on registration, on patenting, on copyrights and so on. So we have URSB on board. In fact, they'll be present at the event.
Okay.
And we're also going to select some of the like some of the projects that are already at that stage of registration and support them through registration. Patenting is a different story because it's very expensive depending on the region where you're going to patent, but we have enlightened them on the process. At least URSB has been doing some clinics, and they have been educating most of these entrepreneurs on patenting, the value, how to even search and see that this project has never been patented. Because sometimes you hold on to your idea and think you're the only one doing it. When you go into the Google database, the patent database, you find it's been done in another country like Netherlands, like Sweden, and so on. So then it gives you an idea of what else can I do differently here in Africa or in Uganda. So we are supporting these teams. In fact, it's very critical.
Yes.
Yeah, we are also cautious about this. We are treading on eggshells, and we want some of the cool projects here to patent, to pursue that process. So we are also in discussions with the ministry and other partners. How can you support a student, for example, who doesn't even have finances to patent? Because that can be like a $10,000 fee that they need to register a patent. But registration is much cheaper, and so we want to pursue that with Uganda Registration Services Bureau.
All right. Okay. So at the end of this, journey, they always say that once you start a journey, you need to have a goal in end, and just for you to put in place structures that will ensure that you get to that goal in end. And I think every goal for every young person, any innovator, is to get to that point whereby their innovation will actually support them, financially, that it will become maybe, part and parcel of their day-to-day, income generating activities. So to what extent do you have hope that, a majority of these innovations that have come through your hands are actually going to make it in the future in the marketplace as well?
Yes, we're very hopeful. We've had some successes in the past where students or even faculty came in with just ideas, built them, tested them, and registered businesses and employed people, recruited. They started as a team of 2 people, and now it's a team of about 8 people. So some of the projects may struggle along the way. They take different paths, and they don't move at the same rate. Like health-related projects may take some time, to go through the experimentation, validation, and so on. We've seen other projects that go very fast, move very fast, register a business. People download the app, start using it immediately. We already have some projects that have had launched a bit in some high schools, financial technology solutions, which are going to revolutionize the way students in high schools access money without a mobile phone. Yeah, you just keep your money there, it's safe, no one can steal it. We've had challenges of pocket money being stolen from your suitcase, from wherever you're keeping it, but now we want to digitize that bit, like one of the projects there. So we think that particular project could launch in high schools. We keep supporting them, they grow their team, and we have many users of this kind of project, and it creates employment opportunities. So yes, projects have potential.
Yeah, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. At least some hope for the innovators out there, that at least there's a light at the end of the tunnel. So today is an amazing day for you people. Congratulations on the graduation of this, cohort. Are people open to come through and see some of these innovations?
So we have the morning event is a closed event where we'll be having partners like the investor community and partners from Ministry of ICT who are going to be part of this program. And then in the afternoon, starting from 1 p.m., we have opened it up to the public. We are already receiving requests of people who want to come in and see what are those local solutions for our local challenges that have been developed by these brilliant people. So it's open to the public. Yourself, you're welcome to come in.
Thank you.
And have a look at some of the projects. You could be a funder to some of the projects. Yeah, I encourage you, the staff here at NTV, to come in and see, and let's start promoting our local solutions.
And this will be happening where?
This is going to be at Hotel Africana today. So the morning event starts from 8:30 to 1. From 1 o'clock to 5 p.m. we have an exhibition, a marketplace open to the public, showcasing free of charge, showcasing education projects, fintech solutions, health projects, and so on. And we have voting as well.
All right.
So the project that will walk away with so many votes will get a cash prize.
Interesting.
Yeah,
so Deborah, I want you to just breathe some air of hope to our young viewers, and even, you know, them that are in the middle ages, just innovators, and them that are looking out of, okay, fine, I have a brilliant idea. Maybe some have even created a prototype and given up. They really tried, but they gave up. I want you to speak to them. Camera 2 is yours. Just give them some hope and also an assurance that, you know what, they can even try out and, you know, look out how they can, you know, join the program. Just speak to them this morning.
Yeah. So my last words to the innovators and all the young people out there, the entrepreneurs, we call them hustlers, who say the hustle is real. I want to commend the work that you are doing. A big shout out to all of you out there in universities and who are out there in innovation hubs. When I look at Silicon Valley and some of the innovators in the US, like Facebook or even Google itself, all these projects came out of the university, like from Stanford University. Students came out, you know, developed cool projects, and right now they are big companies to reckon with. So our innovators here in Africa, in Uganda in particular, have the potential to create such big-time projects. Why should we struggle with big databases that are so manual when a student is so brilliant and, you know, they can think about different ways of how they can change or improve service delivery. Right. So I think our students or our innovators and all the community that is researching, you know, at different places, if we empower them, if we give them the resources like Ministry of ICT is doing, we have the potential of creating a regional hub, a Silicon Valley here in Africa.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that will contribute to development in the entire globe.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, so please keep the light bulb on, keep the hustle. We are backing you up as innovation hubs, and I believe we have the potential to change our world, the world we live in, especially using ICTs. We have the tools. We are in the industrial revolution, and, you know, we have brilliant minds at universities. We have the potential. We have projects already that have preceded us, like Uber,
yes.
Self-Border,
yes.
and they are creating change in our communities.
So there's hope and there's a need.
There is hope and there is a need.
All right.
And these projects are creating so many jobs for young people, for middle age. So let's keep on.
Thank you so much, Deborah. And also, like Deborah said, make sure that you look out for, you know, the website of the Ministry of ICT. Yes, they'll be advertising most of this, you know, opportunities right there on their website and social media platforms as well. Thank you so much, Deborah Natojuna, Engagement Manager at Resilient Africa Network at the Makerere University School of Public Health. Thank you so much.
Thank you too. Have a good day.
Thank you so much, Deborah. All right, that's it for our Kickstarter conversation. Keep your views coming. The hashtag is Morning at NTV. We'll post this on our YouTube platform so you can share it with your innovation, with your friends who are in the innovation space, so that they can be able to know that, you know what, they have an idea and they can actually reach out to someone who can help them actualize the same to maturity. All right, at this point in time, we'd like to tell you how the traffic looks like, and so I have Stephen Reader on standby. Stephen, good morning.
Good morning, Mala. Thank you for coming to me. I'm here at Chireka, and this is the Chireka Road, connecting from Nambole Stadium as you divert from the bad traffic jam that's along Wayogedede